What's happening, everybody? My name is Mr. for 5000. And today we're going to be looking at a video where Joel Klatt reveals the plot that a lot of the NCAA coaches have against him. Now, if you don't know Joel Klatt, he is a college football commentator on Fox, one of the best. Joel Klatt is freaking fantastic to listen to. And he has his own podcast. So, without further ado, let's check this video out.
The quarterback at Alabama, they would be the best team in the country, and I would say absolutely they're going to win the national championship in a year in which we don't have a lot of great teams.
I don't want to box you in by saying a question here. I just want your thoughts on what went on between Oregon and Colorado. Everything that went on Oregon and Colorado, from Dan Lanning allowing cameras in pregame until the very end. Just your thoughts on that.
I have a lot of thoughts. I think that let's start with this premise. There are fans and players and media that don't like what's going on at Colorado. They don't like the hype surrounding Colorado, just like there were people that didn't like the hype surrounding Tim Tebow. Okay. But the group that dislikes it the most is opposing coaches.
Did y'all hear all that? Of course, fans and all this type of stuff. He said the group that dislikes it the most are the coaches.
And I talked to these guys off the record. They despise it. They hate the attention that Colorado is getting. They hate the fact that they know it's not going anywhere. They hate the.
And this is a Christian family man using the word hate. So you know it's real, at least from the vibe that he gets from these coaches that he talked to on a weekly basis.
Fact that they know that this guy is going to be able to recruit at the top end of college football. They hate that 60 Minutes was there and that every show was there and that it's Deion all the time, everywhere. They hate it. And that's what you saw from Dan Lanning, was a guy that wanted to embarrass Colorado. Now, there is an obvious point, and I'm going to make this point with a preface. I really like Dan Lanning. I think he's excellent. I think Oregon is really good, and I'll get to that in a moment. This is going to be a little bit of a long answer, so I'm sorry.
We got all the time
Jimmy.
in the world. All the time in the world.
So, isn't it odd that you're decrying?
Here's my opinion. If just beat the guy. Why you got to do all this extra stuff? Just because he doing it? We are all grown. I don't do anything just because somebody else does it. You get these sensitive ass coaches and somebody coming in doing it different than they do, and they're having success and they get butthurt.
If that's a word. You're frustrated with, your frustration is that they are in it for likes and clicks. And your answer is to invite cameras into your pregame speech?
Yeah, I thought the same thing. It seemed very hypocritical, yeah.
So it was planned and rehearsed, and he was out to embarrass them, But to sit there and be like, they can win on YouTube. It's like, you're creating a video. That's all you're doing. You're creating a video that's not going on YouTube. It's going on network television. His comments at the half of like, I hope all those people are watching now. Well, guess what? They were. At least in the overnights, it was the top rated game of the day over Ohio State, Notre Dame, which is wild.
Is that right?
Bonkers.
Yeah, that's crazy.
In the overnights. Yeah. Now, like, the smaller markets have to come in. It might not end up being the top rated game of the day, but in the major markets throughout the country, the top rated game was a 5.3 rating, which is massive for Colorado, Oregon. It was a 5.0 for Notre Dame and Ohio State.
And by the way, that's going up against Alabama head to head.
That's exactly right.
Which is a TV juggernaut usually. Yeah.
So now let's go back. So Dan has a plan, and he's out to embarrass them. And he's going to do it, hell or high water. Cameras in the pregame, talking about likes. It's like if that was genuine, there'd be no cameras in the locker room. If you're really in it just for wins, there would be no camera in the locker room. That was.
And here's some of the underlying factors. You got this group of coaches who, I mean, a coach is a coach. If you're a coach with any success, you study teams' tendencies. Even if you haven't played them yet, you study their tendencies. It's on your schedule, boo, 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 blah, blah, blah. So one of the underlying factors is these coaches and got together, studied Colorado's tendencies. They know their flaws. They know their offensive line is not very good at this point. That's one of their weaknesses. And they all got together, got the information, gathered it, and they fed it to Oregon's coach. Embarrassed that mother Hubbard. Here's what you need to do on second down. They like to do this. On third down, they like to do that. Boom, boom, boom. And that's just not right. You don't have to do all that. Just go out and beat them. You don't need to hit dirty. If you have confidence in your team and you know your team is better than them, you talk by beating them. That's all you got to do.
An obvious kind of point to begin with. Now the more subtle point, and I think this is the one that I'm most excited about. Okay, if you really think about it, Dan is a smart guy, really smart guy, and he wouldn't do that unless he knew, like he knew exactly what was going to happen. You know, he watches the film, he knows not only his team, but he knows the opposition, and he's like, nope, like I know what we have. Or else he wouldn't do that. Cameras wouldn't be in there. He wouldn't be barking like that unless he knew that his team was an above the line, excellent team. And the thing about it is, Dan knows what it actually takes.
Yep.
So to me, it's like you look at his history, and he knows the speed it takes and the physicality it takes at the line of scrimmage, the quality quarterback play that it takes, and everything that it takes, because he's seen it. He has seen the modern standard, which is Georgia. He helped build Georgia. He helped recruit what Kirby has got going on at Georgia, right? The two-time defending national champion. And so when he does that and he's that confident, it tells me that he believes that Oregon is at that level. And that was a little bit of the subtext that I took away from it. One, he hates what's going on at Colorado. He was also in it for the likes, and he is uber confident in a team, and he knows what it's supposed to look like. So maybe we should all be uber confident in the Oregon Ducks. And they went out there and did exactly what he intended, which was embarrass Colorado. And Colorado played terrible, and more specifically, Shedeur played awful. You like watching the tape in the first quarter of that game. There was zero anticipation. He missed some wide open throws and held the ball. And you can't do that in the small margin that they had as a 3-touchdown underdog.
Joel Klatt is with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline.
Yeah, that's going to be it for this video. If you want to go see the entire video, it's about 21 minutes long. This is called this is the Next Round podcast. So if you want to go check those guys out, but comment, share, like, subscribe to the channel. But I know it from personal experience and just everyday life, not this YouTube stuff, just everyday life. You know you're doing something right if you got haters. You know it. And haters have given me strength. Because you know why? I know what they're doing, but I don't pay attention to them. I don't give them nothing to go off on. Specifically, I just be me. When I know about it, I just continue to be me. I don't acknowledge them. They continue to hate. But that's going to be it for this one.